I didn't yell when he said it. I didn't even blink. People expect explosions when they betray you. They expect anger, noise, something dramatic. But I learned a long time ago that silence is far more dangerous. The room buzzed with that cold, artificial corporate air, the kind that reminds you you're replaceable, no matter how many years you've given. He stood there in front of me, polished, entitled, perfectly rehearsed. He had his father's jawline, but none of his father's intelligence. Clean out your desk, he repeated. I set the token on the table like I was laying down a confession, a tiny device. That held a decade of trust. 20 minutes before every transfer time's out, I said quietly. He heard the sentence but completely missed the warning inside it. He never hears anything that isn't about him. I met his father 9 years ago. Back when I was still a young analyst who believed loyalty actually meant something. He shook my hand, looked me in the eye, and told me trust was the backbone of finance. I believed him. I built his treasury system like a spine, rigid, clean, and impossible to break without me feeling it. And I watched his son grow into a chair he never earned, smirking through meetings, confident only because someone else had built the floor beneath him. Still, I protected the company. Still, I approved every wire above $5 million because I thought loyalty had value. But betrayal doesn't show up with thunder. It shows up with patterns. The first sign came 3 months ago when his overdressed, underqualified friend started appearing everywhere, meetings he had no business being in, conversations he hadn't earned the right to join. His casual questions weren't casual at all. How does the approval bypass work again? When you're on leave? Who handles authorizations? Ever think about taking a break? I noticed the shift the way a surgeon notices a tremor, subtle but dangerous. Then came the email chain forwarded to me by mistake. One line made everything clear. Once he's out, we'll migrate the system. Dad won't even notice. I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. A younger version of me would have confronted them. But I'm not that man anymore. I didn't argue. I prepared. I ran an internal audit not for the company, but for myself. Every outdated dependency, every process only I fully understood, every timed function built on a human key, I documented it all. I uncovered every vulnerability they never bothered to patch, because they trusted me too much to imagine I could ever become a threat. I didn't sabotage anything. I simply returned everything to its default state. The truth is, systems collapse naturally when the person holding them together lets go. My revenge wasn't destruction. It was absence. And now here we were, in the same office where I had grown older while he grew more arrogant, being dismissed by a boy who honestly believed power came from his last name. He slipped the token into his pocket like he had just won something. You'll be fine, he said. We all move on. What he didn't understand was that I already had. I walked out without looking back, not because I lost, but because I'd already set the countdown in motion. He had 20 minutes. 20 minutes before every high-value wire his father needed, end-of-quarter settlements, international transfers, bonded commitments froze in place. 20 minutes before the entire liquidity chain locked up like a clogged artery. 20 minutes before his father would ask the only question that actually mattered. Where is the man who understands the system? I reached the lobby just as the first message hit my phone. 10 minutes left. Treasury queue rising. 7 wires pending. All over 30 million. I stepped outside feeling like someone finally released from a sentence he never knew he was serving. The second message arrived as I crossed the street. For minutes. CEO requesting override. System denying. Approval key missing. I didn't respond. The last message wasn't a notification. It was a call. His father, steady, commanding, now shaken in a way I had never heard. What happened? He asked. Your son fired me, I said. Silence stretched long. Then? Can you come back? I could, I said. But I won't, because loyalty is a currency and yours already spent mine. I didn't need to watch the company unravel. They would fix it, eventually bring in consultants, rebuild processes, redesign the entire treasury pipeline if they had to. But they would never rebuild what was lost today. A safeguard disguised as a man. A system disguised as an employee. And as I walked away, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not anger. Not victory, relief, because sometimes revenge isn't a punch or an explosion. Sometimes it's just the quiet sound of a door closing behind you, while the world you once held together falls apart without your hands there to steady it. And the collapse isn't your wrongdoing. It's their confession.